Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Kristen Martin. I'm the author of 10 books. I'm a writing coach, I'm a mystic, a psychic medium. Essentially, when you put all of that together, I am what you would call a creative entrepreneur. And we have another video today in our writing series. Happy October, by the way. Happy Preptober. That's what this video is going to be about. In case you don't know what Preptober is, it is during the month of October where writers are getting ready and prepping to write their books before November rolls around, because November is what is known in the writing world as NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. So today I'm going to be sharing my Preptober plan of attack because yes, while I may be more of a pantser, I still like the organization and the prepping process of writing. So maybe not so much prepping in the sense of being a plotter, but prepping in another sense. I like to have my binders, I like to color code things, I like to have a sort of mind map that is fluid with my creative process, my writing process. So anyways, I've got 7 steps I want to share with you for how I'm going to be attacking this Preptober so that I can be successful with the 2 WIPs, works in progress, that I'm working on. The very first thing I do for Preptober is review my outlines. Now, if this is a new book idea, then more likely than not, I have more of a mind map and not so much an outline. I may have a very rough, bare bones Act 3, 2, 1 structure or Act 1, 2, 3 structured outline, but for the most part, it's usually a mind map for a new book idea. And it's just very rough. It's kind of just like ideas everywhere. In this case, I have books that are one's in a series. So it's the 6th book in the Shadow Crown series that I will be drafting for the first time. So in a way, it's kind of like a new idea, except not really, because I've had the idea. I know how this book is going to end. I've known since 2017 time frame when I started writing it and published the first book, which is Shadow Crown. So first thing I do is I review my outlines. So I'll be reviewing the outline for that 6th book in the Shadow Crown series, as well as the outline that I have for my standalone novel, because I've decided to add more to the end of the book just to beef it up a little bit more. And I had some ideas come to me, so I have to rework some things at the very end. But for the most part, that standalone novel is drafted. It's just not quite where I would like it to be just yet. So again, step 1 for Preptober, if you have a new book idea, I would recommend creating some sort of mind map. If you need help with that, I do offer a story mind mapping workshop for just $37. You can find that link in the description box below. If it's not a new book idea and you're working on a series, or maybe you're writing, you know, Act 3 of a book, or like me, adding things in, then this is where reviewing your outline is going to be super, super helpful. Step 2 then piggybacks off of step 1 in that I need to do a sort of gap analysis with the outline. So this is where I'm really trying to figure out what's missing, what I'm adding in, if everything's still flowing, and really just reviewing any foreshadowing that needs to be wrapped up in Act 3, or if there's anything that's just not making sense, that's not cohesive. This is where I do a gap analysis. My preferred method for gap analysis is storyboarding, because this way I can color code my index cards, I can write all of the scenes, all of the events, everything that's taking place, the main conflict, the tension, all of that onto the index cards, as well as any new ideas that I have, and then I can move them around as needed to fill in the gaps. Preptober step 3 is to then update the outlines. So in this case, if you had a new story idea, a new book idea, you'd be taking your mind map and then creating that rough outline. Again, I would recommend an Act 1, 2, 3 outline. Of course, if you're a plotter, you can get way more detailed with that and do like a full-on academic outline. So in my case for Preptober, I will be updating my current outline for my standalone novel, and then I will be going through the very rough outline that I have for book 6 in the Shadow Crown series and making that just slightly more detailed, because again, I am more of a pantser, but I like to have just guidelines, right? Just to sort of keep me on track, but I want to keep that space open for new ideas, creative sparks, inspiration to flow in as they would like. Preptober step 4 is to create a writing schedule for each book. Now, if you only have one book, then this would just be to create a writing schedule. Period, hard stop. But since I am working on 2 books, I need to create a schedule for each of them. If you're looking to create a writing schedule for your book and you don't know where to get started, I did recently post 2 videos last month, one on creating a simplistic writing routine and one on how to time block as a writer that I highly recommend you check out. So for my Preptober, what I've decided to do is actually use 2 weeks in October to work on Act 3 of my standalone novel, and then I'm going to be using the entire month of November during NaNoWriMo to draft book 6 in the Shadow Crown series. As far as the actual schedule goes for writing, I discussed this in that time blocking video where I look at my day in segments. And so because I do have a newborn, which she's currently with my husband right now taking a nap, but I usually use her nap times to write or to film videos or do things like that. So it's a weekend right now. The kids are upstairs having their nap time, their calm down time. I feel like everyone in the house is napping except for me because here I am creating. But in that time blocking video, I talk about viewing your day in segments and also how I am fitting writing into those segments as a new mom. Once you have an idea of your writing schedule for your book, then Preptober step 5 is to update your calendar. Now, since we are getting into the holiday season, which is the best season of the year in my opinion, it's important to make sure you're accounting for travel, for family visits, for family activities with the kids if you have them, school schedules, family outings, all of that, right? So make sure you take all of that into account first and see what days are open and what you have to work with. So in looking at my calendar, my family is coming to visit the second week of October. So really the first and second weeks of October are pretty booked because I'm hosting the Write 50K in 30 Days accountability program. So we're kicking that off on October 1st, which by the time this video goes live, we've already kicked off. And then that next week, my family is coming into town to visit. So I'm actually going to use the last 2 weeks of October to work on the standalone novel, to draft Act 3 or add in what I need to add in for Act 3 of my standalone novel. And then for November during NaNoWriMo, when I am drafting book 6 in the Shadow Crown series, I need to consider whether or not I'm going to include weekends in my writing schedule. Usually I don't, because weekends are dedicated to family time and doing activities with the kids and just, again, spending time together as a family. But seeing as it's a pretty lofty goal and it's 50,000 words in the month of November, that's what I'm aiming for. That is the target. I may have to choose like Saturday or Sunday just for a couple of hours to try to get some writing in. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Haven't quite sorted that out just yet, but that would be the next step in my Preptober plan of attack. Steps 6 and 7 aren't so much in the Preptober wheelhouse. They're more so when I'm actually drafting the book. But step 6 would be to utilize writing sprints using the Pomodoro method with a block timer. I love this thing. It keeps me on track, and I used to use my phone and it was the Forest app, but I noticed whenever I would go onto my phone, I would get distracted, because who doesn't get distracted when they go on their phone? So having a block timer has been a game changer, to be honest. If you're interested in this specific block timer, I have it linked in my Amazon storefront, so you can find that link in the description box below. And then step 7 would be to utilize something that I recently launched, which is the Daily Writing Planner. So this is the hardcover in beige. It comes in hardcover and flex cover in 4 colors: beige, sage, blush, and black. So this is the beige cover, and this is the Daily Writing Planner. And so this is something that I have used for a really, really long time, except it was just a plain worksheet, but I decided to actually create a physical version and then offer that to the public and whoever would like to use it as well. But this is the #1 thing I use to just stay on track with my writing, because it's a daily planner specifically made for writers when you are drafting your book. So step 6, Pomodoro method using a block timer. Step 7, using the Daily Writing Planner. And again, these are the 2 things that keep me consistent with my writing. Another resource I want to mention is the Back to School for Writers bundle. This is the 2nd year that this is being put on. The aim of the bundle is to provide resources from over 30 experts in the writing and publishing space to encourage writers to start, revise, publish, and promote their books by blending practical steps and how-tos for developing your craft and confidence. If you're interested in that, I'll leave the link in the description box below, so that way you can learn more about the Back to School for Writers bundle. That is going to conclude today's video. That is my Preptober plan of attack. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and click that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe button, and I will see you all in next week's video. Bye!